experiencing the Tet celebrations in Hanoi, we decided to take a stroll through the old quarter. We wanted to see just how quiet the city has become and explore what activities are still available during this time.
Bye.